Hey everybody, it's Zero Felrose here. I'm bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content this fine day. Today we're going to go over the new event coming out, the Power Plant event. Now, I just got this information the other day, and we're going to take a moment, going to go through the event information, and then we're going to look at it through the lens of PvP and what's good to grab, what's good to look at, and what we want to avoid. So, without further ado, we'll just kind of go through the event first here. Um, this is the overview of the event. We're looking at the debut of Helioptile and Heliolisk. They're normal electric types. Um, Honestly, they're not bringing a whole lot, but if you want to, you can grab them. Pineapple them if you see them anyway. Anything's just a move update away from being relevant. We've got some pretty awesome wild encounters, honestly. I'll go more into depth about all of these encounters and everything, but this is a 2 week event, and that's going from the 19th of January. So this is starting actually today, the day of the upload of this video. And it's going all the way through Tuesday, February 1st. So it's about a 2 week event, and it's going to sort of be split into two parts. I think the raids are the only thing that's really split into two parts, as well as the rocket event that we're going to get. So more on that in a minute. But you see the encounters are nothing too crazy. We do have Trubbish, which is one worth highlighting, and everything else as far as PvP, I'll touch on that in a bit. So the raids are pretty nice. There's a lot of shinies to grab here. Everything kind of fits with the theme in a, well, I mean, more or less. You can see here that we have the 3-star raids are set from the 15th all the way to the 24th for the first half of this event, and then the 24th starts through the 1st, and we get another set of raids. And then in this particular event, we've got Genesect with a Shock Drive, and it learns Technoblast between the 15th and the 24th. And then on the 24th to Tuesday the 1st, we get Regice, which learns Thunder. So speculation time, tinfoil hat. I have a feeling we might be seeing Registeel and Regirock early February, and possibly even seeing Regieleki, Regidraco in February as well. So we'll see. I think that might actually fit kind of with this whole Ruins theme, though, kind of where they're going with this. I think that would be really neat to see those come into the game. Field research, there's a couple of things to note. Like, all the rare ones are decent. The other ones are okay. Like, if you're hunting for the Magnemite Hundo and the Joltik Hundo for Master and Ultra League respectively, that'd be good. But the thing that I want to highlight here on this page before I get into the PvP stuff is Rockets. We're getting a frustration TM event. This is not a drill. Sound the alarms. Make sure that you remember to TM frustration off of any good IV spread shadow Pokemon that you have. I use a tag system to keep everything that's a shadow that's got good IVs on it. So that's what I would recommend for that if you aren't have that set up yet. If you don't have that set up yet, I would definitely think about doing that just so that you can stay organized and you don't have to go and type in shadow and then go through all the ones that are bad and purified and whatnot. Easy or cheap purifies and stuff. So we also get more often the rockets will spawn at stops and balloons. Now, this is a good time to grind up those red eggs, because if you're diligent, you could probably get 2 to 3 full stacks of 12k or 12k eggs before the end of this event. So that's a lot of dust. If you pop a star piece and hatch all those eggs all at one time, that's about 150k dust. So it's definitely not something to sleep on. If you can do it, get out there and do it. I know it's cold as balls outside right now, so maybe not walking around. But if you've got a way, good Stardust opportunities all over this one. So, yeah, we just want to make sure that we're Stardust and good PvP stuff. So anyway. Speaking of that PvP stuff, let's hop right into these wild spawns here. So we're looking at the wild spawn pool here. I'm going to start with Magnemite. Now, you can see here I've got kind of everything listed off with what league that it can be used in. But I'm going to go through each one individually just to highlight what leagues you should be using them in. So Magnemite's a great one to start here. You can use it in everything. Magnezone is good in everything. Great League, it's good in certain cups, like the most recent Sinnoh and Holiday Cups. In Ultra League, it's a fantastic thing to have in the Premier Classic. And then in Master League, it's really good for Ultra Premier Classic. So definitely want to look to try and get at least one for each league if you don't already. If not, just grind out those candies so that you can build one for each league. You only need one for each league. There's not like multiple move sets or any legacy moves involved here with Magnemite, so no need to worry about that. Grimer is good for both Great and Ultra League. You don't see it very often, but it's good in certain Spice Cups. And you can use Kanto Muck in Ultra League as a poison jabber, as good poison damage, in the shadows as well. It's not super high priority, but you could also get those Grimer XLs. I guess I should probably, you know, mid video editing, right? You could toggle on that XL for the Great League Grimer. I completely forgot about that. I guess technically you could do the same for the next one, Voltorb. So Voltorb, you're typically going to be looking to get the Electrode for Great League. Now, if you want to, you can XL a Voltorb for Great League. I don't know why you'd want to, but if you want to, I guess you could. And then in Ultra League, if you got a Hundo Electrode, you could XL that for Ultra League. It caps at like 2,300 something, but it's XL Spice, so if you've got it, why the hell not, right? Electabuzz is one of those that Electivire is like super squishy, and no matter what league you use it in, but it's a powerhouse kind of mon. So if you can, either grab the candies or snag one, especially if you've got shadows, that wouldn't be bad to have those either. But just kind of good for all three leagues, but not really much more than Spice. The same kind of goes with Porygon. Any of its evolutions aren't really super meta or anything like that, but you can get some use out of them if you want to be spicy. Now, Trubbish, we're not using it for PvP. For PvP, it is literal garbage. But every single Trubbish will grant you 750 Stardust upon catching. If it's weather boosted, it's like 930 something. It's you catch every single Trubbish you see, especially if you're like me and you're hurting for dust all the time. Helioptile is the debut here. It really isn't that good, but as with anything that's new, it's always worth getting. So if you see it, pineapple it, catch it. If you get a good IV spread for it, great. You can XL it for Ultra League, but it's so really not great. The only time you would ever really want to use it is if you want like an electric type. But it's really not. It's not meta. It's nothing like Walrein for sure. Electrode and Jolteon you can encounter if you are lucky. So I catch those anyway because they're 300 Stardust on boosted, and Jolteon you're not going to use for PvP, but I guess if you wanted to, it can be built for all three leagues. And then Electrode, like we mentioned earlier, for Voltorb, it can be built for the lower two leagues. But again, those evolved mons are really just going to be Stardust. Now, let's take just a minute and let's look at Helioptile, Heliolisk right here. We're gonna look at Heliolisk because I'm not looking at Helioptile. Things it's not. Nah. All right, so we've got the information pulled up on PvPoke here for Heliolisk. It's number 581 in the Great League. Like, it's not good, and I'm going to show you why. Its move set, you got Volt Switch. Okay, that's not bad. Volt Switch is pretty good, right? You've also got a choice of Quick Attack, and you've got Mud Slap, which, okay, I guess. The charge moves here, we've got Thunderbolt. Okay. We've got Grass Knot. Okay, I guess. Good for those ground types, right? Bulldoze is a coverage move. It's really a bad move, and you're not going to use it very often. And then Parabolic Charge, I want to talk about that for a minute. Like, Niantic, what were you doing? I hope that they have plans for this in the future, or they're going to buff it before it gets released, because basically what they did to it was they made it... I think it was 55 energy for 65 damage, which for reference is basically a flame wheel that can't, or a flame charge that can't boost attack or anything. Like flame charge is 55 energy for 60 damage, so it's a little bit more damage for that same energy cost. And it doesn't boost. It's just basically discharge, but more energy. Like discharge is 65 damage for I think it's 45 energy, 40 or 45 energy, and it does the same amount of damage. So it's really just a worse discharge, which they got rid of discharge on this thing and gave it, I think they gave it Thunderbolt. So you're really not. No, the moves are bad. All the moves are bad. All the moves on Helios are bad, and it's unfortunate because it's kind of cool. I like it. It's got the little bearded dragon neck deal looking thing. Um, I'm not. Yeah, it's a normal electric type, so it doesn't really have any defensive help from its dual typing. It just gains more weaknesses. It does resist the ghosts, but what are you gonna do with this thing? You know, it's spice. It's literally spice. It's always worth getting at least one or two, but it's not going to be something that you're going to want to go out of your way to build. Now, I guarantee you that there's going to be YouTubers that are going to make this thing work, and good for them. I'm not going to be one of them, but you know what? That's good for their content. I don't think that this is going to be worth investing into for GBL. So, yeah, I mean, in Great League, like it beats water types, it beats flying types, and because it's a normal type, it can beat Sableye. It probably beats Bastiodon because it rocks. I guess maybe not. I don't know how it beats Bastiodon. If I'm being honest, actually let's take a look at it live on video right now. How in the hell does it beat a Bastiodon? Just barely. Just barely. All right. A Thunderbolt does a respectable 29% of its health. So, all right, I'll give it that. A Thunderbolt does a fair amount of damage. This thing is kind of attack weighted. You can see it's 137 base or 137 attack stat in Great League, so it's not, it's nothing to sneeze at. If you take a hit from this thing, it's going to hurt, but it's not. Don't. It's okay. You don't have to worry about it. I got you. Don't do it. All right. So anyway, let's get into these field research spawns because they're actually kind of interesting. For field research, you've got some of this, a couple of the same things from the wild spawn pool. You've got Magnemite, Voltorb, Heliolisk, Helioptile, and Trubbish. Now, the other four are unique to the research, and unfortunately, I don't have a list of the research tasks, but I think it was like there's a bunch of them that's like catch 5 electric types, and I think that the first 5 come from that, and then the rest, Trubbish, Alolan Grimer, and Emolga all come from walk X amount of kilometers from what I was seeing on the Bush Whisper channel, where the whispers from the bushes will sometimes tell me what's going on. Twitter, i.e. basically. So obviously Trubbish, if you grab that. Garbodor, I think also might come from that if I read correctly. Again, rumors online, nothing solid because the event's not out for me yet. But Trubbish and Garbodor being in the research tasks is great because those give a ton of Stardust. Alolan Grimer is going to be an Ultra League staple and a Great League Spice staple, so you're not going to use it unless there's like a limited cup or something, but when it comes around, it's usually pretty good, and you definitely want it for Ultra League. It is a staple for the Open and Classic and all the other, basically all the cups that it can be used in. It's good. Emolga is spicy for Great League. You do need XLs if you want to use a good IV spread. Otherwise, like a Hatch IV or Raid IV or a Research IV will get it up to 1500, I think, without very much XLs. And then Joltik is one of those ones where if you're hunting for that hundo, this is going to be good for you to try and get that hundo or close to it. You want the Spooter for Ultra League as an XL so that you can use it just under 2500, I believe it caps at. And then in Great League, just a regular low attack, regular bulk kind of build will work just fine for it. Needs all the bulk it can get. It's a very squishy Spooter. And then Voltorb and Magnemite, we kind of already talked about. And Electrike is the only one here that doesn't really fit into any sort of anything. It's a really good raid attacker. It's got a Mega. But as far as PvP goes, you're only going to use it in Great and Ultra League, and you need XLs for Ultra League, and I don't know if it's really worth it because it's spice, really. You're not focusing on anything on this page other than the Magnemite, the Joltik, and then if you don't already have one, you can get the Alolan Grimer for the Alolan Muk. And then anything here that can be shiny, except that Emolga can't be shiny. I left that. That is a mistake. That needs to disappear. Emolga cannot be shiny in this event. Don't be tricked. It can't be. It's very pretty shiny. It's chocolate squirrel, but you can't get a shiny Emolga in this event. So that's my bad. But that being said, let's jump into the raid pool here. So raids are pretty neat here. So we've got some goodies in the first tier of raids. We've got Pikachu, which Pikachu's everywhere. Nobody really cares about Pikachu at this point. If you want to run the Alolan or the Kanto version in Ultra League, you will need it to be fully XL'd as a Hundo, or damn near fully XL'd. And then in Great League, you can just get a regular stat spread. Probably better off just hunting this one out in the wild. If you want to raid for it, be my guest. Beldum's good. It can be shiny, and we are going to be able to see if we can get it in all three leagues here. So you can use it in Great and Ultra, but you're really going to shine with a Metagross in Master League, and that's in almost any format. Open, Classic, Ultra, Premier, Classic. All of them are going to have a place for Metagross. So definitely good to get that Hundo or close to it if you don't have one already, and it needs to be given the Legacy move Meteor Mash, so you'll need an Elite TMer to wait for an event for that. So Shinx, given that recent Community Day, giving it Psychic Fangs, you can use it in Great and Ultra League. It's not really good for Master League because it's so low in CP, but you can find a use for anything if it gets high enough, right? But you're really not going to use it for much other than just some spice in some cups, like the Sinnoh Cup or Ultra League remix or something like that just gives it some chance to be used. But Blitzel being up next here, not really useful for PvP. It's kind of frail. Has a decent move set. If I'm not mistaken, it has like Flame Charge and Wild Charge, which is an interesting combination. But other than that, you need to XL it for Ultra League, and in Great League, it's not going to be used for much. Electric types, unfortunately, are just not too great for PvP. Either due to stat spread or just the fact that typings kind of get them. But once in a while, though, you get those cups where the electrics truly shine, like in Sinnoh Cup, where the electrics were just having a dominant time for a while. Clink, useless. Go ahead if you want to. It's a shiny. Great is normal stuff, and then Ultra League is XL for the Clink Clang. 3-star raids, we've got Scyther. And Scizor can be used in all three leagues. Scyther can be used, I believe, in the lower two. Typhlosion is one of those mons that is really strong but really frail compared to some other things that you would expect it to be like. Just fire types in general are kind of frail. But you can use Typhlosion in Great League with the upcoming Johto Cup, possibly. Ultra League, it finds its best time there as either Shadow Claw or Incinerate user with Blast Burn and Solar Beam. You can definitely snag a Typhlosion for Master League if you want to, but not really going to find any use for it up there, unfortunately. It is just a little bit too frail to hang with the big boys. Next up, we have Mawile in the 3-star tier. You can get it shiny, and if you want to get a good stat spread for a Great League, you need to XL it, and it's going to be the sort of similar to Sableye with the low attack, high bulk, but you can non-XL it from a raid IV spread and be just totally fine with that. Druddigon clocks in as the last slot in our raid pool for the first part here. And again, this is from January 15th to January 24th. You can get a shiny Druddigon if you missed it the first time around, and Druddigon has a decent PvP moveset with Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, and Night Slash. So you could build one for all three leagues if you wanted to. I'm not entirely sure if it really fits anywhere just with its stats, but one of those kind of things that maybe it's worth having at some point. So feel free to snag them if you want them or get that shiny. And the last thing, one of the highlights here of the raid pool, I guess if you want to call it a highlight, is Shock Drive Genesect. And that is something that I also forgot to get rid of the goddamn shiny. That cannot be shiny, unfortunately. I don't really know why they won't release the shiny for these new drives. I think it's kind of dumb. You guys already released shiny Genesect. Just give us the shiny for Christ's sake, But you get it with Shock Drive, so Technoblast will do electric type damage with the Shock Drive installed, and it can be used in all three leagues, but it's really just spice. It's not really going to be anything that's going to be worth your dust or while to build. But that's the first part of the event. So once the Rockets take over and we get into the second half of this event on the 24th through the 1st, the 1-star tier of raids does not change. Where we see the changes all in the 3 and 5-star tier raids. So you'll notice first up we have Dugong as the first of the 3-star raids, and Dugong is excellent for Great League, but you're gonna want that like high rank spread with the low bulk or the low attack, high bulk, and you're gonna need to double legacy, even triple if you wanted to, if you want Aquajet that bad. Apply at least 2 Elite TMs on it to get an ideal moveset. If you want to play it in Ultra League, you can XL it, but it's not super great. Piloswine has a bunch of different utilities here. So in one of my own recent videos, I ran a Piloswine in the Great League Cup. It was in oh Christ, what was that? The what the hell cup was it? Maybe it was the remix. No, it was Holiday Cup. Holiday Cup ran the Piloswine and Stone Edge things into oblivion. That was an excellent video. You go back and check that one out. But you can run the Piloswine in Great League. You can XL a Piloswine for Ultra League, or you could run a Mamoswine in all 3 leagues, but it's going to do its best in Master League, where it's got the ability to kind of hit harder enough that the lack of bulk isn't as much of a problem, and it's a little bit bulkier there. But if you don't have a Mamoswine, it's worth getting one for Master League for sure. Walreign's probably going to do its job but better, so something to keep in mind there. Monferno is coming in at number 3, more or less useless. You could have used Infernape as Spice in the Sinnoh Cup, and that's literally the only time I've ever used one or seen one used in PvP. So really not worth rating this at all. Not even for the XLs. I don't want XL Monferno. Ember and Low Kick is not a combination that I care to use. And Druddigon is back and is the only thing that hangs around for the second part of this raid tier. Now, in the 5-star slot here, we have just Regice. And it's going to learn Thunder as a limited time sort of legacy move. And that doesn't really do a whole ton for it, but it does make it very interesting in Great League. Gives it a chance to be an answer to Azu and Skarmory in that core. Gives it a shot at taking out some interesting things. Doesn't really make it meta, but it definitely makes it some interesting spice if you have one that's low enough to be used in Great League. Ultra League and Master League, it can be used in interest, but it's really like, if you get rid of Earthquake in favor of Thunder, then it just falls to all the Steel types, and that's not really ideal because there's a ton of Steel types up in Master League. So, look, it's worth getting for sure. It's worth getting, and if you've got one for Great League, that would probably be a good move to put on it. But I mean, overall, it's something else. It's spicy. Now, what I really want to see, Regirock and Registeel, do they come back next month, and do they get special moves? And I'm kind of curious to see, what kind of moves maybe we see on them, because those are the 2 that you're going to see in PvP. Regirock you're going to see in Great League, Ultra League, and some special cups, and then in just an open too. And Registeel is just meta because it's got the steel fighting moveset. It's really bulky. It makes things cry. It's the true trash can of the leagues, but. Definitely interested to see if they give us some extra move for those 2. Those might actually be worth rating, and I'll definitely be rating Registeel if it comes out for a bit, just to get some extra XLs. I think I'm like 20 XLs short of my shiny like raid IV that I built that I never really used in Ultra League, but I'm not going to full XL on Registeel. I went in full XL Deoxys 1. I did that 1, and that's the only one I will ever do. I don't think I ever want to do that again. I felt disgusting. But it's really good. Anyway, so guys, that's gonna wrap up this this event kind of overview. I hope that this helped somebody. I didn't see a lot of people in space. There's a couple at Pokedex. He does an excellent job making these kinds of videos, but I didn't really see anybody else really like delve into the PvP use of all the things that are in the events. So I kind of hope to make this a regular thing. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this. Don't forget to TM Frustration off of your Shadow Mons and take advantage of those rockets. Hopefully we'll see some new shadows too. That would be kind of neat. But yeah, let me know in the comments if this is something you'd like to see on a regular basis. I'd love to do something that's a little bit different than my normal battles. Maybe I will be able to soon start doing videos twice a week, potentially. I did put in the 2 weeks to that crappy second job. So I'll be back down to 5 days a week instead of 7, and hopefully I'll be able to make some extra videos during the week, and hopefully this could be kind of one of them if this helps people. So thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck on your shiny hunts, your raid hunts, and just, you know, Trubbish. Get all the damn Trubbish. I mean it. I don't care about anything else in the event other than Trubbish. Give me the bag of trash. It's worth money. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Appreciate you. Shout out to my patrons. You guys are awesome. Have a good one. See you next time.